Bitcoin lost the support of our trend line here, turning it into resistance. And unfortunately, we have seen a little bit of slippage over the weekend. But things might be about to turn here for Bitcoin with another surge to the upside. In today's video, I'm going to be jumping into the technical analysis on BTC, sharing my thoughts on where I think Bitcoin is heading. Let's roll the intro and get right down into it. Okay guys, welcome back to another video, welcome back to another Bitcoin update, and we are taking a look at BTC paired up with USDT. We're on the 4-hour time frame and Binance is our data source should you want to draw this up on your own charts. Now here you can see, and following on from yesterday's video, we had this trend line. This trend line was acting as a bit of support for us down on the low side in this mid-range, and we almost turned it into support here before losing it, and it became resistance. So we had this area of testing and we got rejected from it. Okay, now if we go to refine this, obviously now this trend line's kind of played its part, we can go ahead and actually take a look at the resistance trend line just on this upper area here. Okay, connecting up these areas of these wicks where price went to. So we had our $64,000 high, we had some more wicks up here, another wick here, and you can see that we are still in this downward trend line area. There's heavy resistance. Now, for the most part, that resistance was up in this range that we spoke about yesterday, $62,936 to $64,000 on the USDT pairing on Binance. Now, with this resistance, we are going to be looking for the kind of test and break of the trend line. This actually gives us a bit of an opportunity to be trading. Now, as you can often see, we find continuation-based patterns. I'm going to go ahead and draw this lower trend line from our low at 58,700 and connect the two trend lines here so you can see that they meet. If I zoom out of this, you can see that we end up with this kind of scenario. We have huge volume coming in, or say huge volume, but we have this parabolic move to the upside here. And probably bad use of the word parabolic. It is a 25.73% move, right? Great move to the upside. From a volume point of view, I don't think there was terribly a huge amount of volume. You can see a little bit of volume in here, but it wasn't massive. But nonetheless, some volume was basically pushing price up and obviously dragging it back down, right? Hit 64,000, come down to 58,700. Now, with this triangle pattern here, this wedge that is forming, this is known as a continuation pattern. Continuation patterns have a tendency to break in the direction that the market was in prior. Okay, so prior to this continuation pattern, we had this upward move. Okay, that means that when we finish this continuation pattern, we're going to have an upward move. Okay, it continues whatever led into it. Now, it's not to say that we're going to have another 25% move to the upside. I think that's highly unlikely. But I do think we have the potential for this area here between 65,323 and $67,508. which could be phenomenal for retail investors who have been going long on BTC. Okay, so just bear in mind that nothing is a guarantee. Now, I'm definitely no financial advisor. I'm just sharing my thoughts and opinions on what could unfold in the data, in the charts as I personally see it. Let's go ahead and take a look at the potential here then. So knowing that we have our resistance trend line and we have a support trend line, it's possible that we test this low trend line before we get the break to the upside. It's also possible that we simply do not, but we're within our bounds here. And that's the main point that I want to make. Whilst we are contained inside this range, we can be pretty predictable over where things are likely to go. But we don't just want to jump in any potential trade, right? We don't want to just go short or go long on the market randomly. What we want to do is we want to use the probabilities of each of those to help guide us on our trading journey. So I think the higher probability is the break to the upside, 65 to 67K, right? As we can see up here. And so what I'm looking for is to go long on the market, but I want to go long and I want to basically go long and got a confirmation of a breakout. So what I'd be looking for is a test of the trend line, rejection, and then a closed candle above that trend line. That will be my entry, and my target will be $65,000. This will give us a great risk reward ratio of approximately 3.65. depending on where you get your entry and your stop loss. Now, the stop loss does have to, of course, be below the trend line. We're looking to keep that trend line that was previous resistance and turn it into support. So here we can see a great risk-reward ratio. And I often talk about risk-reward ratios because they are very, very important when it comes to proper risk management when it comes to trading. I do not like to trade anything that has a risk-reward ratio of lower than 1.5. 1.5 basically is telling us that you get $1.50 for every $1 of risk. To me, that is too much risk for very little reward. I want things that are higher than 1.5. So I will never go lower than 1.5. I may consider 1.5 if we have a nice tight stop loss and we have some pretty good reasons and rationale as to why we might be trading. So in this particular case here, we could go long on a breakout situation for BTC with a risk reward ratio of about 3.65, which I think would be fantastic. Now, of course, if I am to be trading, I'm going to be trading on 𝗕𝗘𝗪. 𝗕𝗘𝗪 is my go-to platform when it comes to my leverage-based trades. It's easy to use platform, has many features and many different trading pairs. If you haven't yet already checked it out, what are you waiting for? Check it out. There is an affiliate link in the description down below. And if you do use that link, you could be eligible for up to $30,000 of rewards and bonuses depending on how much you deposit and trade on the platform. There are terms and conditions associated with it, so do make sure that you have read all of those and agree to all of that. And of course, you are in a jurisdiction that is eligible. Not all countries or jurisdictions are eligible for such affiliate-based rewards and bonuses. All the T's and C's can be found on their website. So why not check it out? Link down below. So if I were to trade Bitcoin's breakout, that would be how I would be looking to do it, right? Ultimately looking for that long position to target out 65K. What if that doesn't happen? What if we come down and we lose the lower trend line? Well, if we lose the lower trend line, again, it's a breakdown that we could go for. This time shorting the market, stop loss just above the trend line. And again, we have this range that we've been talking about in the previous video to target as well, coming down in between the $57,220 to $58,415. Okay, and this would actually give us a risk reward ratio of approximately 4.35. Again, could be a great opportunity. So you don't have to be kind of, gambling on the market. You just wait for confirmation. You either are breaking out or we are breaking down. And those are the trading opportunities. Whether it goes up or goes down doesn't generally matter too much as long as you're on the right side of that trade. And so, as you know, many different kind of aspects on the market here that could help us understand the direction. So let's jump into this. Obviously, I think there's a higher probability of the move to the upside. The reasoning and the rationale behind that is I see this as a wave 4 and this as a wave 5. Anyone who follows Elliott wave theory, you'll know what I'm talking about. So we're looking for this additional surge to the upside to finish off this move here. Now, if I bring this to the daily time frame, you can kind of see these kind of moves and what's been going on and why I am targeting out this overextension within our structure here. Okay, we're looking to finish off a fifth wave of a fifth wave, and that 5-wave movement, that final fifth wave move you see here is an overextension. Okay, so we have, let me show you on here so you can kind of see, we have a 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and inside that fifth wave movement, we're looking for that fifth wave move. Okay, so that's kind of where I place this from an Elliott wave theory point of view. But let's go back down into that 4-hour time frame and review some of the other things that are going on to help us understand why I think there's a higher probability of a move to the upside. So volumes have been decreasing as we find ourselves in the continuation pattern. Again, that's another bullish tell that things are more than likely going to be breaking to the upside. So as you can kind of see here, price is cooling off. As price is cooling off, volume is dropping down. Positive signs for another break out to the upside, in my opinion. So we'll keep a close eye on that. Divergence indicated the RSI is correcting down as we are also correcting price. Price is in the continuation pattern. RSI is coming down from the overbought area. It's still above the mid-level, so still bullish, and we can start to see another move to the upside on the 4-hour time frame. So divergence indicator from an RSI point of view, the relative strength index looking good. There's no divergences though. There's no bearish breakdowns or bullish breakdown being indicated on the divergence indicator. The stochastic RSI is oversold. It was oversold on the 1 hour at the point of recording, oversold on the 4-hour and 8-hour time frames. So again, coiling up for this next move to the upside. So again, looking good from the stochastic RSI point of views as well. So for the most part, I look at these various different indicators. I think to myself, yeah, we are looking really interesting for Bitcoin's price action. There's a lot of fair value gaps on smart money concepts, but I think those are going to get filled out when we have a much bigger correction, which I do think is likely to occur It could be this month of March. It might not be, but it could be. So I want to be open to the idea that we see after this move here a much bigger correction for Bitcoin. Stock market dependent though, because I do think the stock market is what is going to basically destroy Bitcoin's price action. If something happens to the stock market gets spooked for whatever reason, the Bitcoin spot ETF is going to dump hard. And I think that's really where we see a lot of those fair value gaps getting filled out. The 200 EMA is significantly lower at 51,700. So that's still a good sign, but that's also a negative sign for any short-term traders because, well, we like to find support on the 200 EMA. So we're quite a distance away from that. It's going to be interesting. So smart money concepts, something to keep an eye on. Our VPVR, you can see actually most of the volume is down here at 51,000, right? If I accidentally zoomed out of there. So we can see that this volume profile is where the range of buying was, and that's because of that consolidation range that we were trapped in before. You can see there's a little bit of volume up here, but realistically speaking, the volume is down here, and that's where a lot of people will be looking potentially to find some good value for Bitcoin. It also happens to coincide with the 200 EMA. Outside of that, there isn't a lot of volume anywhere else. A little bit of volume up here in this continuation pattern, which I do think is likely to take us up a little bit higher. But a revisit to 51K, that could be an interesting zone for people. So we'll keep a close eye on that as well. But guys, yeah, I think at the moment, this weekend's been slightly boring, and we have seen Bitcoin's price coiling up in that continuation pattern. Are we going to get a breakout tonight for the weekly close? Who knows? Let me know your thoughts on that in the comments down below. Or do we think this is a next week job where we see $65,000 to $67,000? Share your thoughts in the comments down below. And why don't you check out this video right here where JB's got some interesting things he's discussing.